and happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, September the 15th, and I am Kelly, and this is IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Welcome everybody. As you all are popping on here, I hope that you will say hi and hello, and if you are new, that you will let us know that you're new. If you're watching this later on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Would love it if you would also say hi and hello over there. So welcome everybody. The weather here in East Tennessee has been great again this week, except really dry. Yeah, it's been super dry, so I don't know, I'll whine about everything. It's too wet, it's too dry, it's too hot, it's too cold, whatever. But anyway, the weather's been great. Karen and I did get to walk today, and it's so dry and the weather's, so nice that we will get to walk again tomorrow. So I hope y'all are having a great week. I am happy to say, this is not a bit of news, while everybody's joining in, I am happy to say that I got some kind of a weird award on my watch that I don't know, I've never gotten it, but it says that I have met, I think it says I've met all of my goals for the week for activity, so that is fantastic. But hello, Anna, you were the first one to pop in here. Hello, Sandra from Dingman's Ferry. Welcome. Hello, John from Home Base. It is good to see you, and I'll see you here in about an hour and 12 minutes. Yeah, I will see you then. Hello, Catherine from Lowell, North Carolina. Always good to see you. But I hope you all are having a great week too. And hello, Mary Ann. Nice to see you. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you too. I know it's been hot, super hot in some areas. Yeah, so I'm just checking in on you all too. But we have got a ton to talk about. Hello, Jonna. I know I do always say that, but we really do. And we are going to do something fun in the second half. Hello, greetings, Sarah from Raleigh, Massachusetts. Oh, what's the C? Sarah says, first day of fall is this week. That's exactly right. And hello, Mary from Pittsburgh. And Mary has a little football on there. I don't know if it's because we killed it in our game this week. It was a paid practice game. But anyway, and hello, Sherry from Cape Coral, Florida. Good to see you. But as you all are popping in, do know we have something, it smells fantastic already for the second half. We have 12 minutes left until what I'm making for the second half will be done, and it already smells so good, but I have to wait and get to that point. We have to get through the first part before we can get to the second part. And hello, Hattie from Arkansas. Welcome. Yeah, so again, if you are brand new, let us know, because we would love to welcome you. All of these ladies and our couple of gents are very kind and welcoming, so we would love to say hello to you. And if you are watching this later on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Please say hello. Please say hello over on YouTube. Hardly anybody, only poor little Rosie and a couple of other people ever talk over on YouTube. It gets a little lonely over there. But hello, Elaine, and hello, Barbara. Good to see you. So again, I hope y'all are having a great week. This is Sunday, September the 15th, and Sarah reminded us that this week is the beginning of fall. I don't remember when the time changes though. So if you're in an area where the time changes, just go ahead and shout that out so that we'll all know. And hello, Barbara from Bonnow, and I never say that correctly, I know, but hello, Shirley. Good to see you, and hello, Carol Lou. So I hope y'all are having a great week. I do have a little bit of news as you all are jumping in. Well, hello, Melvie. Good to see you. First of all, thank you all very much for the thumbs ups and the hearts that are coming up. Those are so sweet. Also, if you didn't know, you can do stars. So you can just give us some sort. Oh, and let's see. Barbara says November the 3rd is when the time changes, and Sarah says the first harvest moon is Tuesday. Ooh, that'll be cool. But in case you all didn't know, you can do a couple of things to support us. One is to give stars during either here on Facebook during the live chats. You can go down to your little comments and you can do that, give some stars, and that helps to pay for everything that we use here since we've had budget cuts this year. Who hasn't had budget cuts this year? Aloha, Kathy. And you can go over to Amazon and check out our wish list, and I will provide that link again this week in the chats. Or in the chat notes, which Casey will be publishing, and that is just on www.ifyouhaveanegg.com. So she will, so she'll have that posted over there. And Barbara's done a bunch of little stars in her comments. But if you go into the comments, you can actually give stars only if you want to. Do not feel obligated to do that. But thank you all for those. And let's see. Oh yeah, Lynn says not until November for the time change. That is exactly right. So our news. Let's get right to the news. First thing is, today is the start of the Setting Yourself Up to Stay on Track challenge, and that is over hold on a second. Sarah says, make a wish when you look at the moon Tuesday night, because it's going to be a super big one. Fun. But today is the beginning of the Setting Yourself Up to Stay on Track challenge over in the If You Have an Egg Facebook group. And that is hosted by Julie. She is so awesome. She's a teacher, so she's very busy. But she always hosts a challenge over there. Every single week she hosts a challenge. And I hope that y'all will go by and check that out, because I know when I said it was lonely on YouTube, sometimes it gets lonely when we post these challenges and things like that, and people are at home thinking, oh, I'm doing the challenge, and they're doing it, and they don't tell anybody. So please give Julie some feedback, when you are participating in those challenges, just so that she knows that you're there, and that you love her, and that you want her to keep doing it. So again, it's not a competition. You're not in competition with anybody but yourself. It's just a challenge. It's just a daily reminder. And this week, Julie will be reminding us every single week to kind of set ourselves up, to start setting ourselves up for, to set ourselves up to stay on track. We'll talk about this in a minute, or in a couple of minutes, but the one of the things on the app has changed, and the setting yourself up to stay on track is kind of commingled in that. So we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. The second little bit of news, there are 2 recalls that I think are worth mentioning this week. The first one is at the Boar's Head facility that produces their liverwurst product. And hello, Katie. Katie came in just in time to hear the 2 recalls. But the first recall that I need to tell you all about is at the Boar's Head facility. So Boar's Head is a brand this was sad news to me, because I don't know, I usually kind of lean towards their product, and apparently it's only the liverwurst product that is affected. But internal investigations at Boar's Head identified a contamination at only this facility, and it has been closed. So they've closed it. It was so bad. The contamination was so bad. They actually closed the facility and let 500 people go. That's pretty bad, okay? The initial listeria outbreak happened in July, and it affected 18 states. People have died, okay? So if you happen to have any Boar's Head liverwurst in your refrigerator or in your freezer, please see the recall and dispose of it immediately, okay? And I'm going to be posting a link on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. In these chat notes, we'll be posting a link of how to go check all the details for that recall. But apparently it is only the liverwurst, and it was made at this one facility, and that facility has been closed. So hopefully that will take care of the situation. And I did notice when I was reading this recall, when I was reading all of the information on this recall, Boar's Head they are like horrified. They seem embarrassed. They seem horrified. Hello, Kim, good to see you. And it looks like some people have, even though 500 people were let go at that particular facility, the liverwurst facility, it looks like they've put some new people and programs in place, because my guess is they don't ever want this to happen again, ever. It was pretty bad. I'm not going to go into the gory details here, but if you go to the link that I'm going to post in this chat, it was pretty bad, okay? Yeah, the conditions were like really, really bad. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail. The second one is the second one involves eggs, sadly. So I'm sad, but they're not eggs that I would have purchased. But I need to let you all know, if you purchased eggs from Milo's Poultry Farms in Bonduelle, Wisconsin, they are in Bonduelle, Wisconsin, but it includes eggs that are sold under the Tony's Fresh Market and Milo's Poultry Farms, those brands, so Tony's Fresh Market brand and Milo's Poultry Farm brands. You need to go check out this recall, okay? And again, we will post the details of that here on the notes for the chat. The eggs that are in question, it's all expiration dates. So they didn't have, normally in a recall, they'll say, these lot numbers or these expiration dates. They're saying if you've got them, get rid of them. So that one was, they've been linked to a salmonella investigation. So apparently there were enough people sick that there was a salmonella investigation already opened, and so now they're saying that's linked. If it's either of those, so that would be Tony's Fresh Market brand or Milo's Poultry Farms brand, chuck them, get rid of them, no matter what the expiration date is. So according to the FDA, there have been 65 people infected with this outbreak strain of salmonella across 9 different states. It includes California, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, Utah, Virginia, and Wisconsin. So if you were in one of those states and you have purchased one of those 2 brands of eggs that were both from the same place, but they're under 2 different brand names, they have, get rid of them. So the illnesses started, from this particular recall, started somewhere between May the 23rd of this year and August the 10th. That's pretty recent. That's just a month ago. No deaths have been reported, thank goodness. But 24 of the cases required hospitalization. Again, we will post the link, but please, if you have eggs from either of those brand names, no matter what the expiration date is, and sadly they're like organic, farm raised, cage free, whatever. So it's all the buzzwords that I look for in eggs, but those are the eggs that we're talking about from those 2 brands. Okay, so those 2 recalls, please check them out. The last little bit of notes for tonight is there will be no chat, none. There will be no chat next Sunday night, this coming Sunday night, and that is September the 22nd, because, drum roll, hello Joycelyn, it is Bo's 3rd birthday next Sunday. So Sunday, September the 22nd is Bo's 3rd, the big 3. She's wild and young and 3. That is her actual birthday. I can't believe it. Can you believe it? It feels like we literally just talked about, being off for a day or 2 when Casey had her. But yeah, so we will be celebrating with this little wild girl, and she is a little wild girl. Hello, Lisa. And I can't wait to share pictures with you all later, but that means we will not see you until the following week. So this coming Sunday, 1 week from today, and that is Sunday, September the 22nd, no chat, and I will be back on Sunday, September the 29th. Okay, so that's it for our news. I've chewed up 11 minutes of the first half of our chat with news, but the recalls were important, and Bo's birthday was equally important, so I felt it necessary. Okay, last week was chat number 380, and we were talking about how to take charge of unhelpful thoughts. And we talked about setbacks and their potential to be maybe a set up for something better, for something else coming up in your life. And we were talking about taking charge of those unhelpful thoughts. So when those little voices get in your head and they're like, you can't do this, you're a bad person, you blah, 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 blah. So we were talking about, okay, so take charge of that. Take charge of those unhelpful thoughts. The first thing was to face your accuser and was to say, okay, little voice, what is it that you're accusing me of? Back it up. Stop accusing me. The second thing was to tell the little voice to talk to your hand like, hold up a minute. Who put you in charge? You are not in charge. And the third thing was to remind you that thoughts are not facts. So things like, you're a terrible person because you did X, Y, or Z. Okay, no, you're not. I know all y'all, and you're not terrible people. Things about, falling off the wagon, or little hiccups in the road, or me. So we were looking for the facts last week. We were squelching that little voice and saying, hey, talk to the hand. Let's look at the facts here. So your homework for last week was hashtag thoughts are not facts. So those little unwelcome thoughts, that popped up during this week, I wanted you to talk to it, and then tell us what the facts are. Ooh, and next weekend is the other Peanut's 5th birthday. I can't believe she's already 5, and I can't believe Alyssa was already almost 3. So Alyssa would have been 2.5, Carol, when she was born. But your homework was hashtag thoughts are not facts. And let's see how you did. When Melissa misses an exercise class, hold on, part of the second half is ready. Ooh, and it looks and smells good. Okay, so when Melissa misses an exercise class, that little voice says, oh well, you're lazy anyway. Okay, hold up, Melissa's little voice, hold up. The fact is, Melissa is the healthiest that she's ever been, and I have seen her at Zumba. That girl is anything but lazy, okay? So little voice, back it up. We've got some facts to prove that she is not lazy, okay? Second is Mary Ann. Mary Ann hears that little voice saying, oh, Mary Ann, oh, poor sweet little Mary Ann. You're so naive. It's going to take a lifetime for you to meet Lifetime, okay? So her little voice is very patronizing, you know, like, oh, bless your heart. But it's going to take a lifetime to get to Lifetime. Okay, fact, little voice. The fact is, she is making this not just taking a lifetime to reach Lifetime, she is making this the time of her life, okay? She's making it the time of her life, and she is working her plan. Those are facts. So little voice, hush. You can just back it up because we've got some facts to push you down. And then last but not least, Anne. Little Anne. I swear I just want to pick her up and just put her in my pocket. But Anne, her pesky voice is telling her that the setbacks that she's had the last couple of weeks are a sign that she's just going to fail at this too. So Anne, hold on a second. Oh goodness, Vicky. I hope you're better. I'll have to go back and read this. So, Vicky, I promise I will go back and read this after the chat. My goodness. Just admitted to the hospital. Oh, no. Had an emergency. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I will come back and read this later when I can actually pay attention to it. But poor little Anne, her pesky voice is like, Anne, honey, I don't know what to tell you. You just need to give up. You're just going to fail at this too. Okay? That's all I know to tell you. Her little pesky voice is whiny, and it's pesky. Okay, we can hear it. We can hear it coming out of her head when we're sitting there on Tuesday nights. So she's having trouble coming up with some facts. She knows that's not true. She absolutely knows that that's not true because she had a great weight loss. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. And I even fussed because she was whining, rightly so, was whining about how the scales were treating her either last week or 2 weeks. It's been a couple of weeks ago. And then she had a great weight loss. So she knows it's not true. She knows that she is not a failure, okay? So we need to tell her little pesky voice, stop. Just stop. We have some facts for you. I know that she's strong, okay? I talk to her every Tuesday night. I know that she's a strong person. I know she's successful because I have seen her success, and I know, fact, she is a great supporter of her friends that are there at Weight Watchers. I mean, this is like it's like a little team glued together that I would never want to break apart. But Anne is having trouble coming up with some facts on her own. Come on, Melissa's team, Anne's team Anne, which is Melissa, Deanna. She's got several others in there. So give me some more facts. So y'all need to give Anne some more facts. Anybody that knows her, and I'm telling you, she is not a failure. So Anne's little pesky voice, which is really whiny, back off. Back off. Nobody wants to talk to you. Okay, so bravo. And you know what I completely skipped? I was so busy talking about recalls. So bravo to everyone who did your homework, but I completely skipped talking to you all about attending in-person workshops because I was so wound up about two brands of eggs that I'll never even see being recalled. So let's back it up a little bit. Who attended an in-person workshop this week? Give me a thumbs up for that. And a couple of y'all are already ahead of me. You're sitting there going, all right, Kelly, circle back around. You forgot it. So thumbs ups for attending in-person workshops or going to Zoom workshops this week. Thumbs ups for that. And let me see some hearts for being here with us live last week or for watching later on demand. Yeah, sorry I skipped that. Sorry. Bravo to everyone who went to an in-person workshop this week, did a Zoom workshop, or was here with us this week. Now I can move on to the next subject. So this week we are talking about why weight training is so good for you. Okay, and there's the line. Thumbs ups and hearts. Yeah, she is. I know, and I've seen her at Zumba too. Yeah, she's not a failure. Trust me, she's not a failure. Fact. That is a fact. Okay. This week we are talking about why weight training is so good for you. And I have to say, I don't know if you have noticed it in your app yet or not, but under the Discover Content tab that is on your Weight Watchers app, normally you would hit Discover Content, you would go to you would hit your, the one that used to look like a hamburger menu. It used to look like the 3 lines, and now it's your picture, it's your little icon thing. When you touch that and scroll down a little bit, if you go to Discover Content, normally on a week that nobody's been messing in our stuff with the Weight Watchers app, normally it would show you what the topic was, what the weekly topic was for the prior week for Weight Watchers. This week it says nothing about weight training, nothing. And I know that was the topic for last week, but it also now says technique library. So where, I don't know, who's been messing in it? Somebody at Weight Watchers, person at Weight Watchers who is in charge of programming this. Stop messing with our stuff. Leave our stuff alone, okay? So instead of being the weekly technique, it says technique library, and it does not have last week, or I think it has the 2 weeks ago. It has that topic is on there, but it does not have last week's topic on there. So now it is a technique library where you can go through and see all of the techniques. Okay, great, fantastic, that's awesome that we can scroll through and see the techniques and see a library of techniques from the last 12 or 16 weeks, whatever it is. But where is last week's topic? So I'm not sure what that means going forward, but we talked about weight training last Tuesday with Gwen, so that's what we're going to talk about, okay? So I am not excluding the boys when I start talking, okay? I am not excluding the boys at all, but we are going to dig into some unique strength training benefits for us girls, okay? We outnumber them in this Weight Watchers community. If I had to guess, I would say we outnumber the boys probably, I don't know, 50 to 1 maybe? 40 to 50 to 1. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the girls. First thing, what is it? What is strength training? So when I hear strength training, I immediately think of bodybuilders, bulky muscles, you know, people up on a stage in a little tiny bikini. But strength training is simply a category of exercises that are designed to build strength and also to build endurance by forcing your muscles to work against an opposing force or resistance. So that opposing force might be your body weight. You can use, I don't know if y'all know who Jack LaLanne is, but Jack LaLanne was very famous decades ago for a complete exercise program only using the resistance of his body weight. That's it. He didn't use any weights, no machines, no nothing else. So it could just be your body weight, or you could use like resistance bands. Some of you have those. You could use a weight machine, squats, and countertop push-ups. So using my body weight to do a countertop push-up, that is strength training, because I'm building muscles doing that, and I am creating an opposing force to make my body build strength and endurance. Okay, so squats and push-ups count. Countertop push-ups and squats count. Okay, this is uniquely you because everybody here tonight except for John is a woman, okay? So it's uniquely you, and John's already wandered off, I'm sure anyway. So according to UH Hospitals, being a woman creates the following unique opportunities through strength training. Okay, so UH Hospitals, or I'm sorry, Corrine Bazella, she is a medical doctor, and she's an OBGYN with a special interest in menopause. So a lot of us are either going through that or have just gone through that. So this was especially interesting to me. She says that building and maintaining muscle is important for post and perimenopausal women to combat the loss of muscle mass that often occurs with aging. She went on to say, and given that muscle tissue is highly metabolically active, strength training may help prevent common metabolic diseases like diabetes, and help prevent weight gain commonly experienced in menopause. In addition to enhancing general quality of life, strength training in midlife women may offer the following benefits: reduced risk of age-related cognitive decline, including Alzheimer's disease. Hello, Orlando Debbie. Improved joint and muscle pain management and physical functioning. I know that worked for my mom. Slows bone loss and prevents osteoporosis. We all need to be thinking about that. It lowers the risk of certain kinds of cancer. Increased range of motion and mobility. Karen has been doing Pilates, which is a form of strength training, and she can tell you just in the length of time that she has been doing Pilates, she has greatly increased her range of motion and mobility, and it can improve balance and reduce the risk of injury due to falls. Okay, I'm only 57, but that's high on my list, okay? So combating Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that, high on my list. And improving my balance and reducing the risk of falls, also high on my list. Okay, so what do you do? So what do you do to get these uniquely you benefits? So the ones that are unique to women. Now let's not sugarcoat it, or not sugar. Let's not dismiss that some of these health benefits are for men too, but because we're women, I don't think it's going to help the guys with menopause. I don't think it's going to help the guys. They are not as prone to osteoporosis. So some of these things are just uniquely us. So what do you do? Well, I'm going to say you need to start at the beginning, okay? So that does not mean you need to run out and get a gym membership. So starting at the beginning doesn't mean go get your keys, get in your car, and go down to the newest gym, whatever color it is, because we've got a new orange one, and do that. That does not mean that. Start at the beginning. So to start at the beginning, to build muscle strength, you need to choose a weight, whether the weight is an actual weight, whether it's your body weight, or whatever that allows you, whatever it is, it needs to allow you to perform 8 to 15 repetitions for 1 to 3 sets. So a repetition is like if you were doing the countertop push-ups. So if you decided to do 1, 2, we'll just do 3 for time's sake, 3. So if you decided to do 3 and rest and then do 3 more, so the 3 would be the repetition, and then doing that 3 times, that would be 3 sets of 3. I hope that makes sense. While maintaining the proper form. So what you don't want to do is pick something that's so heavy that because this is not deadlifting, like you're not picking up something super, super heavy, picking it up one time, not being able to control it and dropping it. That's not the point. We're starting at the beginning. You can gradually increase the weight, your weight, like for push-ups, for easier, like if you don't have much upper body strength, just start almost standing straight up. As you get better, scoot your feet out farther and farther and farther, and the farther out you are, that's increasing the strength. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Also, according to the American College of Sports Medicine, the goal for most women should be between 2 15 to 30 minute strength training sessions per week, coupled with either 75 minutes of aerobic exercise like running, aerobics, dancing, swimming, something like that, or 150 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise like walking, or if you ride a bike, something like that. So that's not much. Two 15 to 30 minute strength training exercises, okay? That's it, of strength training. Okay, so of course that leads me straight into your homework. Your homework is #start with a squat if you're physically able, okay? That's the easiest one. If a squat's not your thing, if that ain't your thing, then start with a countertop push-up. If that's not your thing, maybe start with a couple of soup cans. So soup cans weigh a pound, okay? And yes, muscle does weigh the same as fat. A pound is a pound. So why were you saying that? Hold on. Oh, Sarah. No. That's not going to happen because you're just trading it. You're trading it. So a muscle weighs a pound of muscle is about, it's not quite that big. A pound of fat is like this big. It's not quite twice as big. So no, you're swapping more bulky fat for a more dense muscle. It is absolutely not going to show up on the scale unless when you first start, and I mean, you'd have to be doing some pretty like over the top strength training for this to happen. But sometimes when you work out, your body will hold on to a little bit of water at first because you kind of put it in shock, like, what? Why are we not sitting on the couch? And it'll hold on to a little bit of water, but that will go away. It doesn't hold on to that forever. But yeah, so do not worry about that, because we are not talking about, again, deadlifting. We're not talking about doing 100 squats, because I don't know any of us here, even Melissa, Danielle, and Ann, who've been doing squats in Zumba now for weeks. I don't even think they could do 100 squats like, in repetition. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about, 15 minutes twice a week. So start with a squat. #start with a squat. #StartWithASquat. And if you can't do a squat, start with a countertop push-up. If you can't do a countertop push-up, get 2 cans of soup, because a can of soup is about 12 to 16 ounces. 16 ounces is a pound. Ta-da. There you go. You've got 1 pound. If you did soup, you would have approximately 1 pound, in each hand. You don't have to go buy anything. Surely you already have soup or a can of beans or something like that. So #start with a squat, and I want you to pick something. Just pick whatever it's going to be. and tell us what you're going to start with to be your uniquely you. So for all of these uniquely you benefits, what are you going to do? So if you're going to do, and thank you, Lynn, for that. So if you are going to start with a squat, just make sure that you have the proper form and do whatever you can. If you can't squat, like I can't squat all the way down, and it's okay, because if I squat all the way down, I won't be able to get back up. So just do what you can do. So you can do some squats, and let's see, Melissa says 5 squats a day or 10 a day. Yep. Practice with the chair until you can move the chair away. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So squats. And again, if you want to start with the countertop push-ups, if you've not been using those muscles, start closer to the counter, and maybe do 3 or 5 or see how many you can do. And then as you get better and better and more comfortable to build that resistance, move farther away. So now my feet are probably, because I've been doing countertop push-ups for a while, my feet are probably 2.5, maybe 3 feet away from the counter. You know, so I can do those, but it's taken me a long time, so I did them up close in the beginning. Okay, and yes, Mary's exactly right. Start at your speed. That's why we're starting at the beginning. That's why I said, start at the beginning. Just start at the beginning. Don't start at my beginning. Don't start at her beginning or his beginning or whatever. Start at your beginning. So if your beginning is 1 squat, do it. If your beginning is going over and just getting the cans out of the cabinet and setting them on the counter, great, fantastic. You started at the beginning. Okay, so hashtag start with a squat. Do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. I'm looking forward to giving out lots of awards this week. So everybody do that. Okay, it is the halfway point. I went 1 minute over. Not bad for as much as we needed to talk about. But do your homework. And yes, Sandra's exactly right. It is time for some water. And if y'all can hear me, oh, it is time for some water. So we're at the halfway point in our chat. For those of you who are new, these chats are 1 hour long, and the first half is about whatever the topic was in Weight Watchers for the prior week, even if it's not showing up under the Discover Content tab this week. Just saying, people at Weight Watchers, stop messing in our stuff. Put it where you got it where we want it. Leave it alone. Okay, so, and yeah, Sarah's exactly right. You have two weeks. You have 2 weeks to get your homework done, because we will not be here, we will not be here this coming Sunday because it is Bo's 3rd birthday. So I'll be back that following week. So I'll be back on, what is that, the 29th, I think? Okay, so everybody stop and take a drink of water. Yeah, and I needed a big drink today. Okay, this is the only time all week that I know that you all have had something to drink. You've had some kind of water, some kind of beverage. I am making food that potentially other people may eat this week. Don't know if I'm going to share it or not. It smells so good that I may not share it. So I am putting on the apron. If you are brand new, the apron goes on when it's the second half, when it's time to cook or do something fun or just be silly. And I went ahead and put my hair up because nobody wants hair in their special food that we are making. Okay, how many of you are refusing to jump straight into pumpkin spice season? Because what comes first? What comes, and hopefully you all know, what comes before pumpkin spice season, or what's supposed to come before pumpkin spice season? And if you live here in East Tennessee, you know, starting in September, there is a place that's about, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes from here called Carver's. The people at Carver's will be happy to remind you, yes, Melissa, they will be happy to remind you that somehow Starbucks, maybe, I'm not sure who started it, but somebody has been encouraging us to jump ahead to pumpkin spice season. It is not pumpkin spice season yet. It is apple season. So Melissa, Elaine, Lynn, Vicky, you all are all, yep, Anne. See, Anne's not even a pumpkin fan. So she loves apple season. We are in apple season, people, okay? Sarah says, love apple picking. Oh, went last weekend, it was fun. So there's there's a place near here. Yep, Marianne, exactly right. So there's a place near here called Carver's, and you can go to the apple orchard, you can go to the restaurant, but don't get in trouble. But they have all kinds of apples. It's the best place to go around here. You can sign up for a subscription to the apple truck. And I did that one year. I didn't get a subscription, but I went ahead and ordered 2 bushels of apples, and they're from Michigan, and they brought them down here. Went over and picked them up. Fantastic. If you happen to be here in Knoxville, Pratt's Market is if you happen to be here in Knoxville, Pratt's Market is celebrating their 100th anniversary, and I took Alyssa in there last week so she could just experience Pratt's, because apparently she'd never been inside. But yeah, Pratt's is celebrating that, and they have, I'm trying to think, 8 or 9 different kinds of apples. So find an apple orchard near you, find an apple grower, find an apple delivery service. Carolou, it is apple season right now, and I will defend apples. You don't have to grow apples there, Lynn. Trust me, there are plenty of services, there are plenty of people bringing them in, there are plenty of places to get apples from, even if you do not grow them in your local area. So Carolou, I will let you get to pumpkin season soon enough, but right now it is apple season, darn it. Okay, I chose 4 different kinds of apples for a recipe that I have made, I'm not exaggerating, 200 times maybe. This is a staple year-round. This is a staple recipe for me year-round, but during apple season, this is... Debbie says she's pumpkin season 24/7. No. But, so I literally have probably made this recipe probably 200 times. It is a staple for me when it's not apple season, but when it is apple season, I'll be making this a lot. Okay, I'll show you what that is in a second, but I want to tell you all about the apples that I chose for this experiment. I mean, I've done this so many times. Okay, so I have 4 different kinds of apples here. The first one that I have is a Honeycrisp, and Honeycrisp apples are were the inspiration for Honeycrisp Apple Company to start. They started their company in 1999. So 1999, Honeycrisp is one of the best crisp apples for an apple crisp. Honeycrisp for an apple crisp. They do stay firm even when they're baked. Honeycrisp has become one of the most popular apples in the world. They are a cross between a Macoun apple and a Honeygold apple from the University of Minnesota. Most kids pick a Honeycrisp if they go to a farm fresh, like where you can get fresh apples. Apparently most kids pick farm fresh Honeycrisp apples as their apple of choice. They can be stored 3 to 4 months in the refrigerator. They'll like 3 to 4 months in the refrigerator. Okay. Okay, so that is a Honeycrisp. Then the next one is a Granny Smith. So the next apple is a Granny Smith. They are also known as a green apple or a sour apple. It is a cultivar that originated in Australia in 1868. These puppies have been around for just a minute. Let's see, 1868, 1968 was 100 years, and I'm 57, so they are at least 156 years old. 156 years old. Okay. So they originated again in Australia in 1868. This is named after Maria Ann Smith, who propagated these from just a chance seedling. So the tree is thought to be a hybrid of a European wild apple, and then it domesticated itself, or it crossed with a domesticated apple as the pollinator. So it was just a chance thing. It is hard. If you've never had a Granny Smith apple, they are very firm. It's very firm. Bright green skin, juicy flesh. It's tart. The flavor is very tart and acidic. It stays very firm when it's baked, and it makes it a really popular cooking apple. A lot of people use them in pies where they can be sweetened. My grandmother used to use red apples and Granny Smith apples. She would do half and half in her apple pies. I think because these stayed so firm and gave it just a tiny bit of a tart, but she liked that red color, so she used to combine those. And the apple goes, believe it or not, and I don't guess I've ever seen one, but a Granny Smith apple will go from completely green to yellow if it's overripe. So if you have an overripe Granny Smith apple, it will be yellow. I did not know that until today. And the U.S. Apple Association reported in 2019 that the Granny Smith was the third most popular apple in the United States. Good to know. Okay, so that is a Granny Smith. So that's two of the apples that I chose. The next one is a Cosmic Crisp apple. I had not seen these until maybe 3 years ago, and Trader Joe's was the very first place that I saw one, and my sister went crazy for them, and she was like, you've got to go get some of these. So the year that Trader Joe's, to me, the year that I knew about it, the year that I was aware of a Cosmic Crisp apple, I went to Trader Joe's and bought a bag, ate it all, ate that whole bag, went back to Trader Joe's, got another bag, posted it on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure I sold Trader Joe's out of Cosmic Crisp apples. But this is the remarkable result of 20 years of study and research by Washington State University's world-class, apparently Washington State University has a world-class fruit breeding program. Who knew? Who knew? Fruit breeding program. This is classically bred and grown in Washington State. Cool. Cosmic Crisp is a cross between the Enterprise apple, never heard of it, and a Honey Crisp. So Cosmic Crisp, look how huge it is. So Cosmic Crisp is a cross between a Honey Crisp and an Enterprise apple, and I've never heard of an Enterprise apple, but they are obviously big and juicy. They're red. It's perfectly balanced flavor. It's got a firm texture. It's ideal for snacking, cooking, baking, entertaining. The striking color and shape, I mean, because look at it, it's huge. The Cosmic Crisp apple shines in fresh decor like wreaths, floral arrangements, and tablescapes. Can you tell that I copied that from the Cosmic Crisp website? Yeah, that is marketing 101 right there. But I do want to point out, this is non-genetically modified. So this is not a genetically modified organism. That was my first thought when I was researching for tonight, and I thought, oh no, the Cosmic Crisp, wait, what? I don't know, I just had this sinking feeling that it was going to be genetically modified. It is not. It's just a cross-pollination, of things that God already put on the earth anyway. So, Cosmic Crisp. Okay, that's the third one that I chose. And then the fourth one that I chose is a Crips Pink, and I want you to notice how long and not so round the Crips Pink is. So it's taller and not so big around. I mean, look what it compares to the short and stubby Cosmic Crisp. The Granny Smith is more of what I would consider to be a classic apple shape. And then the Honey Crisp, of course, are always squat. They're kind of squat and round. So the Crips Pink is more long and a little more narrow. But Crips Pink is a cultivar. It's a cultivar of apple. So it's several cultivars sold this under the trademark name Pink Lady. So I thought, the first time I saw Crips Pink, I thought it was something new, because I had purchased Pink Lady before and I thought it was something new. But so several apple cultivars, like I guess they've got orchards and things like that, they market this, they sold this under the trademark name of Pink Lady. It was originally bred by John Cripps, though, Crips at the Western Australia Department of Agriculture. So Australia is the creator of two of the apples that we're trying tonight. And they said the result is a combination of, it was a cross between Australian apple, the Lady Williams apple in Australia, and a Golden Delicious. And I can tell you, I do not eat Golden Delicious because they are not firm. They're not firm. These are firmer. Crips Pink is firm. So the result, a firm, long storing property. So it had a lack of storage scald like Golden Delicious. I don't know what that means. What is storage scald? Does anybody know what that is? Okay, so registration of the Pink Lady trademark in Australia, though, has been a challenging process because the apple is primarily known by the industry name, which is Pink Lady, publicly trademark name, Pink Lady, rather than its cultivar name, which is Crips Pink. So Crips Pink is actually Pink Lady. Pink Lady apples, or that's just the registered trademark name. Crips Pink is the cultivar name. So the cultivar was John Crips. He named it Crips Pink. Okay, that is the 4 apples that we are choosing. Now, what are we doing with them? I made baked apples. How much easier could life be than to make baked apples? Okay, so I already pre-prepared these because we did not have 40 minutes for me to make apples that make themselves. The time is the only, is the only thing. Each of these apples obviously was washed before I used them. We are using an OXO apple corer. These, I'll post a link to Amazon. I think these are like $9.99 on Amazon right now, and these are like OXO brand, OXO, highly rated, like 4,000 4 to 5 star ratings. So it does have, if you can see that, it has a serrated tip. If you get a cheap apple corer, it's just flat, and you're going to spend half your life trying to core through your apple. So I like the OXO brand because it's a good size. I mean, look how it fits in my hand. It does have just a few of these little ridgy things to keep, like when you're coring, and I'm not going to core these because I'm not ready for these tonight, but when you stick it in there, you stick it where the core is going to be, fitting in your hand, having the little ridges, having the little spiky teeth up top, and having these little ridges. That's going to help you. So you're going to twist it and do that. Okay, so you need an apple corer for what we're going to do. Then you also need, you can either use your stove or you can use an air fryer. I use the air fryer. And the way I make these, this recipe is already on the blog. It's already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. This recipe's been on there, gosh, probably since the beginning of IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. I make these that often. Gosh, they smell good. Whew. So if you are not celebrating apple season with me, you are missing out. This smells so much better than pumpkin spice ever could. Okay, sorry pumpkin spice people, I like it too, but man, they smell good. Okay, so again, this recipe is on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Just search baked apple or baked, and it will come up. It might take you a minute if you don't put in the whole baked apple. So stinking easy. You take an apple, whatever your apple of choice is, you wash it first, then you're going to core the center of it out. Where are my tongs? You're going to core the center out of it like this, just like that. So you're going to core the center out. Then you are going to spray it, put it in some air fryer safe dish. I use these were like cake pans that came with my air fryer, and then you can spray it with any nonstick spray. I personally like the coconut spray from Trader Joe's, or this ghee that this sprayable ghee, nonstick spray ghee that Debbie turned me onto. Works very well. Also, just lightly spray both of them. I use Truvia for the sweetener. I sprinkle a little bit on top. And again, this recipe is on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. You can print it off, look at it. So I'm going to talk fast because I've left us with only 12 minutes. But I use Truvia baking blend, and I either like the kind that has stevia or monk fruit because they both bake well. So I sprinkle some of that on there. And then, of course, you have to have cinnamon. Doesn't matter what the brand is, but you have to have some cinnamon. So core the whole, put it in whatever your air fryer safe baking dish is. Add 2 tablespoons of water to the bottom because it's going to steam it. It's going to steam it a little bit while you're cooking it. So you're going to add the water to your baking dish if you use a crock or whatever, not in the bottom of the air fryer. So to the baking dish, 2 to 4 apples. I had to do 2 and 2 because these were so big. But 2 to 4 apples. Wash them, core a hole, spray them with some nonstick spray, add a little bit of your favorite non or like calorie-free 0 point or low point sweetener. And yes, Sarah, you can definitely do it in an oven. Don't know how long it takes. Sorry, I'll have to look that up. That actually may be on the If You Have an Egg recipe. I may have in there how long to bake in an oven, but you can start them just like this and then just put them in whatever your favorite bakeware is. Okay. In the air fryer, it is 260 degrees for 20 minutes. Okay, 260 degrees for 20 minutes, because what you're going for is a baked apple. You're not going for mush. You're not going for applesauce. It's a baked apple. So the first one that we're going to try, and we're just going to slice these and try them. I already know what this one tastes like because this is one that I use all the time. So this first one is a Honey Crisp. So this is what the Honey Crisp looks like when it comes, and they're not hot anymore. I don't know why I'm using the tongs, but this is what the Honey Crisp looks like when it comes out of the air fryer. If you want to, while you're doing this, you can go ahead and add something like if you wanted some, you know, some granola, or if you wanted some nuts or something like that, you know, on there. These are also really, really good. Like I bought a whole bunch of vanilla yogurt today because baked apples are fantastic with vanilla yogurt. So you can see it is still, I hope you could hear it. It's still a very firm apple, even though that it has been baked for 20 minutes on 260 degrees in the air fryer. So this is the Honey Crisp. I love, love, love apple season. So still just a little bit firm. You can cook it for a little bit longer if you want it to be less firm. That's the way I like mine. That's the way I like my baked apples. I don't want them to turn to mush when I cut them apart, and I love them with vanilla yogurt, like with non-fat vanilla, you know, just flavored vanilla yogurt. Which the vanilla yogurt I use is 2 points, but it's 0 points for the apple. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh! And if you sprinkle just a little bit of granola on top, so good. Okay, the next one is the Granny Smith. So you can see that the cooked Granny Smith, still a tinge of green. It's not quite as green as it was, but there is still a twinge of green. This is what the inside of it looks like. Also, do not toss out the little bit of juice that's going to be in the bottom when you get done. That over the top of your yogurt, or if you have enough points to splurge on a little bit of ice cream or something. That little bit of juice that's in the bottom, so good. It's so good. Here, let's just dip it in that little bit of juice, because that's literally is just the leftover water with the little bit of apple juice that's dripped in here, and that little bit of, this one is Trivia with monk fruit, yeah, and some cinnamon. So the Granny Smith is still tart, and it's just a little bit more firm. That's so good. So good, I have to lick my fingers. I absolutely cannot let that go to waste. Okay. So if you like a good tart apple, that is gonna be a good one for you. Okay, and what was finishing when we started the chat, about maybe 10-15 minutes into the chat, the last two, and again, you can cook 4 at the same time. These were just so big. The apples were so big that I had to cook them in two separate things. The next one is going to be the Cosmic Crisp, and remember, it was this giant one. I'm going to say the Cosmic Crisp is so big. If I was just doing Cosmic Crisp, I probably would have cooked them just a little bit longer, because this is huge. This apple is absolutely huge, and it's still very warm because it just finished. So without burning myself, I will show you that's what the inside of the Cosmic Crisp looks like. This kitchen smells so dang good. It smells fantastically good. Like, I almost can't wait to come back in the morning and eat my yogurt, you know, with this oatmeal. This would be so good in oatmeal. The Cosmic Crisp could have used maybe 3 or 4 extra minutes, just because of the size of the apple. So maybe, and I got a little crispy bit of sugar. It's monk fruit, and let's see, it's this Trivia Sweet Complete, and it's got monk fruit in it. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, I don't know, that one so far, it's probably my favorite. Okay, and then this one is the Crisp Pink. And you can see all of them are just a slightly lighter shade than what they were, but they all still look, you know, really pretty. They all still look appetizing. I make these a lot for holidays, you know, like Thanksgiving. If it's my turn to bring something, you know, I'll make a big thing of, you know, of the baked apples, but I'll put some granola or something or some nuts on top or whatever, because the civilians go crazy for them and they have no idea that they're actually really good for you. So that's what the inside of the Crisp Pink looks like. I wish y'all could smell this. We've got to figure out a way. Hey, AI, figure out a way to make smell-o-vision so people can see this, or can smell this. I mean, smell. Let me get just a little bit of the juice out of the bottom there. The Crisp Pink is good. It's not my favorite. Okay. So, since I've only left us with 5 minutes, I'm going to say in order of how I like them baked. So, I already knew how a Honeycrisp was going to taste because that's what I normally make in my baked apples. I'm going to say in order, yeah, they are civilians, you know. You have to trick them sometimes into eating things. So, in order of my favorite to still good. So, don't panic. But favorite for this recipe, the Cosmic Crisp, hands down. I don't think I had ever used a Cosmic Crisp in my baked apple recipe, which again is on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. This is by far the winner. That was really, really good. I think if I could have let it cook for just a couple of more minutes, it would have been perfect. Second favorite, my old standby, the Honeycrisp. Third favorite is the Granny Smith. And last, like I'll probably just save this one and eat it. That was the Crisp Pink was a little lackluster as a baked apple. So, okay, so we've got Cosmic Crisp, Honeycrisp, Granny Smith, and a way far in the fourth, like probably we'll just eat this one, is the Cosmic Crisp. So, there you have it. I hope you all can find some of these in your area, and I hope you all will check out that recipe. Again, it's on www.ifyouhaveanegg.com. It'll tell you how to make it, and you can make it in the air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, I feel like it would be really easy to transfer it to a baked in the oven recipe. But I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you all have a fantastic 2 weeks, because I will not be back. I will not be back next week because of because of Bo's birthday. Wait, Kim says now she has to go buy some Honeycrisp apples to bake. Yeah, you really seriously do. And you can freeze them. You don't have to make them, but they're so easy. They like bake themselves. Yeah, totally easy. Anyway, I will not see you on it this coming Sunday. I will see you the next Sunday. Yeah, in 2 weeks, and we will have so much fun at Bo's birthday. I know, because she is just wild and she just has fun doing whatever. She really doesn't care. Like, she could care less what we're doing for her birthday. Alyssa would have it planned down to the second and would be like her mother, making color-coded charts of everything we're gonna do. Bo's just like, woo, people, let's go. Anyway, I'll see you all in a couple of weeks. I hope you have a great couple of weeks. If you are watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and let that next video roll over. I promise you will enjoy it. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and then hit the little bell so that you'll know when our next video is published. But y'all have a fantastic week. I can't wait to eat all these with the yogurt that I bought today. But y'all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Good night.